Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So silly old me has done the test panels and a bit of explanation on this car without having anything plugged into the camera. So awesome videos, no sound. So I've restarted a bit, so I'm going to backtrack. Basically, we've got a brand new Mercedes A35 AMG in for our new car protection and detail. So what we've done, as you can see, everything's already out. We've done a few test panels. Now, to explain a little bit about the car, we didn't film it getting washed and prepped because yesterday was a torrential storm of rain. So we washed it, we prepped it off camera, otherwise the camera would get wet. It's inside now. This is day 2 now of the detail. So Tuesday, and we've done some test panels. As it's a new car, no real cutting is required, apart from a few areas, which again, I will have to re-walk you around. Now, the best that we found works so far is the Rupes LHR 75 with a 3-inch backing plate and a 4-inch pad. Now, I'll explain to you now why I've gone for this combination. So, first of all, that's a better way of showing it. As you can see here, there's the backing plate and there's the pad. Now that's a very big overhang in comparison. The reason why I've done this is because it slows down, so the pad's bigger than the backing plate, so a little bit more weight of the pad, so it slows the rotations down even more, which gives us a little bit more control, as this is already quite a torquey machine. Now, the polish of choice is the Car Pro Clear, no, it's not clear cut because it's a compound. It is Car Pro Reflect, so it's a finish and polish. Again, Hex Logic pads, amazing. So ultra soft, no cutting ability whatsoever. So with the usual steps of cutting, refining, you would only do a handful of passes and wipe off. Now, because all over the car there is a few hairlines, okay, so basically wipe marks or incorrect washing procedure at the dealership because it has been sat there for a couple of weeks prior to pickup, and of course at the factory. So we're working this a little bit longer, the combination, allowing the micro abrasives in this to actually abrade. So we have literally done around probably the wing, the rear door, and a little bit of the rear wing. So it's worked well so far. And what we're going to be doing now, again, is I'm going to walk you around the car and show you some of the marks. So, my greatest apologies for this. So this is the car in question. So AMG A35, it's sweet, very nice. It's metallic black. So the test panels were conducted here and on the wing. Now we've done the door and the rear door in our trusted combination, as mentioned before. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the best, so scan grip, and I'll show you. So again, it is super clear, okay? Now, this is the funny thing. New car, I did instruct the owner not to touch the car or allow the dealership to touch. Look at this. There's a very clear outline, so from somewhere here, going in a nice circle pattern. So what that is, basically, it is hologramming. So if you could see my bulb here, with my hand, look into the bulb, any lines going off it, and they're always moving with you. That is pure prep and pure polishing, more than likely through a very cheap rotary polisher with very little skill. Again, I had a, there we go, see? Again, look into the bulb, and it is being wiped and polished incorrectly. Now our test panel, not bad. So basically, the one-step system has worked so far on the rear of the side over there where I showed you. We might have to implement a medium cut polish, maybe even a heavy cut. We don't know yet. But we're currently, so we've worked on this pillar here, just about halfway up. Now the bumper under the lights is quite heavy. In fact, while the camera's in my hands, let's go and get the trusty light on it. So it looks fantastic now to everybody. Put the lights on it. And look, you could see this. There we go, look at that. Swirls everywhere. So for some reason the back bumper is heavily affected. And again, we've noticed through our polishing that for some reason it is worse off on the lower parts. Now, I was talking about blowing pads out and what I do. So I've already gone through 1, 2, 3, so 3.5 panels. I've gone through 2 sets of towels already, and this is my secondary pad, which will, again, is getting removed. Now the reason for this, by the way, I'm testing out a new gimbal on the floor. I'm going to incorporate a bigger tripod in a second. So the reason I do this is because new towels, first of all, is it's very fresh paint, and you don't want to accidentally induce any damage. Nobody will ever do this on purpose. That's why I said it's accidental. You can wipe the car, you can look at it and go, oh, something's not working. So new towels, what I do, I'm going to show you here. So that's one of my old towels now. So it's folded into 4s, and then again, what that means is I wipe the car, so the finish and polish off once with this side, flip it, and your final buff. Then on the next pass, it's a removal of the polish, final buff on this side, and so on. So I'm keeping the contamination as low as possible. The towel's only used once per side, so I don't potentially induce any more damage. Exactly the same thing with the pads. They're primed up to the max. Do probably panel, maybe 2 panels, it depends how I see the pad reacting, and it gets blown out and gets changed for the exact same reasons, because black under the lighting, if you're not doing it properly, it could show hologramming like you've just seen, which is unlikely with the dual action systems. But what you could still see is pigtails or little tick marks. Black is particularly susceptible to this because it shows up everything. Now that could mean you've got dirt trapped in the pad. You could have a dry piece of foam within the prime pad. So when the pad spins, so again, I'll show you. So when the pad spins, imagine this side here is a unprimed, untouched foam, which is fine. Of course, the foam's safe. But when you've got a lot of lubrication on the pad and it's moving at speed, this little pad might just catch the paint and just mark it because there's nothing on it. So tick marks, pigtails, etc. So we are swapping pads, we're blowing them out a lot. Again, the unit's super clean, so the contamination factor of it is non-existent. We're blowing everything outside, so all the dust and the excess clear that you're pulling from the car gets blown off outside, not in here. So we're trying to eliminate everything that we can, and so far we're getting awesome results. Now, as I said, I'm being very purposeful with my passes, so it's again a quick pass just to spread the product around, and then I'm very slowly moving my hands and being deliberate with the passes and the speed. This is to again to iterate. I'm working the polish slow for the reason of I do not want to be compounding any of the car as much as I can help it, apart from the few areas that I've just showed you. So therefore this, with very few abrasives, is doing a fantastic job. So I'm going to try and keep to that system unless I run into something that requires a heavier approach. So again, as I said, new pad. See, brand new pad, I'll show you the difference. So that's a new pad, that's a used pad. There you go, look at that back-to-back system. Just to show you. So pad priming. So I'll give you an example. So you put this much product on. Again, I've already done a few videos on pad priming, but some people will think this pad's prime. Now, if you could look close into the camera, here and all around the edge, but that's the best point there, it's dry foam. And that's what I mean about the potential marring or the damage caused by yourself. So all you've got to do is just a little bit more product, just rub it in. Again. And what that does, it's not a foolproof system. Nothing's ever foolproof. There's about 20 variables that could impede your work. But if you can help as many of them as possible, then why not do it? Again, just for good measure, I'm putting 4 more dots. I will only do this once in the pad's life before it gets washed. Again, being central is key. As I said, I'll do this once, the pad's then primed, and I can just go back to the normal system of the 4 dots. So it's good to go. Now let's have a look. So, cord over the shoulder as always, for safety. So one fast pass just to spread the product, and then I'm going to really slow down just to work it in and assess the result. Again, you've seen me do this numerous times. This is what the pad looks like now. So it's clogged up full of polish, potential clear coat, etc. in the pad. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to use compressed air to blow this out, and it should return it back to your normal pad. There you go, just for some proof. Nice. Again, this keeps your cut consistent, your finishing consistent, and the results are awesome. A few more dabs of polish and you're back in business. Now, as always, wipe this off gently. CarPro's liquids are amazing. Clear cuts, next level. This as well, just wipes off like a dream. You don't have to put any pressure on. boom. Again, black shows everything. So with something like this, which is a spotlight, in essence, this will pick anything up, and it's looking good. As I said, the system works now. I've got it dialed in. So again, with this might not work on your Mercedes, which is black. Even on the same car might not work. So a like-for-like car, they're different. This is why test panels are important. Now, I already explained in my non-audible video as to why, I'm just checking, as to why the car is on the ramp, but it's not getting lifted. So when I did the lower sills, I was on my back. I just feel a bit more grounded that way because of my height. So my eye level height means the ramp has to be all the way up, and I just feel more comfortable with potentially just being on the floor. But again, the car will be getting lifted when Kelly gets here because she's a short arse. And again, for when the wheels get removed, it's going to be up in the air anyway. So as you've seen, the bonnet's fairly bad. Not the bonnet, the boot and the rear bumper. So I'm going to try this system. You never know, it may work, even though the damage is substantive. For a new car, that is. I've seen worse. So the fact that I know that this area is a bit worse, I might shrink my area down even more, is to make a focal point of the bad area. Moment of truth. Let's have a look. As you can see, even there's a lot of polish residue. It just comes off like a dream, which is just awesome. See, again, very surprising. It's coming out beautifully. Again, if there's a hairline that I can either quickly chase up, or if there's a few, I will move on, because the point of this is you don't want to get caught up in chasing 1 or 2 scratches all the time. And a quick coffee break. You don't want to chase your own time or your own tail, chasing a scratch that might just require a fresh head in 30-40 minutes. So what I do is I quickly move, do about, so I'm looking at the averaging so far, I'm doing like 99% correction with 1 here and there. Kelly's going to come back. We're going to both walk around the car when it's finished, spot correct, again refine it if needs be, or correct it, etc. And then walk around the car again. And that way, 2 sets of fresh eyes. She looks on my panels, I look at her panels. So I don't know where her damage is, she doesn't know where mine is. And that's how you can get to 100% on a new car. Not all cars can get to 100. Even some new cars can't, but the paint seems decent. Few high spots, few low spots. But yeah, I don't know if this can see in camera, so again, I'm shooting in 4K, but it's looking, on this side, it's looking sharp. Still hasn't had coatings, obviously, so it's going to look mega. So moving on to the back of the car, we've got our trusty little hybrid, i.e. the toothbrush. So the reason we're using this instead of the 3-inch on the back is because there are some tighter areas, so around the badging, around the boot, so we'll probably do the whole boot in this. Now this is a super soft black foam pad, awesome. It It has no cut whatsoever, so again with the finishing polish, and we may even switch to the Repairs yellow pad with maybe a little bit of compound if there is any deeper marks, and then finish it out with this. So again, as usual, this is how much you need, tiny amount. So basically, as mentioned before, just work this in. You should barely actually see any polishing residue after this. It should become completely translucent if you work it well enough. Beautiful. Now, as seen on the previous video, we are still continuing the testing of our new towels. Just seeing how they fare up, but the removal still is amazing. Now, if you think our current super plush towels are soft, this is on another level. So this is actually a custom blend again. So it's got even more polyamide. So if you remember the soft part of the towel, so it's got even more than your standard 70-30, that's all I will say. And what you get in return is just a super soft, amazing towel. Again, just make sure everything's on point, which it is. So the pad's blown out. Again, a little tiny dot. So the car's behaved so far how we wanted it to, apart from a handful of areas. So one step pretty much for the whole car. It's a lot better for not just me, but for the customer, because eventually long term, this paint integrity is going to be a lot better than other cars, because we've removed literally nothing. Oh God. So that's the whole point of removing as little as possible, and hopefully the paint will last a lot longer, rather than it having to be compounded at such an early stage. The coating system should protect it, and from now on, it just needs little refinements from time to time. Hence why new car details from the factory are important. And I would always recommend it if you're getting a new car. So one day, the dream for me, seeing as we're on the topic of polishing, the dream one day would be where I approach a factory somewhere. Not sure even where, because I don't know, I wouldn't even know where to start. But approach a factory and design a bespoke set of polishers to me, and maybe even one day go outside of the industry standards. So, you know, the bloody 15, 21 inch, 8 inch, 9 inch, everybody's doing the same. So it would be very interesting if I could develop a polisher or polishing system which nobody in the world has got, which is what we try and do in every part of the business, obviously chemical wise, etc. So one day, you never know, it could be a reality. So for example there, look, there's a few scratches, hairlines. So I've already tried this actually off camera, but what works well actually, so you've got Copro clear cut, so you change this pad out and you put on a Rupes yellow polishing pad. Now these are still very soft, so the purpose of this, instead of gold microfiber, is you're still getting a decent cut from the polish itself, but not too much polish in terms of microfiber and a cutting compound. So that on its own should be able to take it out. Let's see. So hopefully now we're going to go back to the black pad combo and see, but we'll check it under the lights first. So again, like I said, see, so I've wiped with this towel aside. You're going to flip it again. Final wipe. See, and that's just knocked it out. Perfect. No hazing, but just to be sure, like with anything, by the way, that's a little backing plate on there. Fairly cool. It's a cool machine. So again, back onto the soft pad. I love the way Reflect wipes off. It's literally like butter. And just again to cross check if anything major's happened. Nope, happy days. So So with these combos working well, I think it's coming to an end of the day now. So we're gonna just close down shop, tidy up any of the loose pads, etc. And we'll see you on day 3 of the refinement. So it'll be literally the whole of the driver's side. And luckily there was a glass roof on this car, so the roof is completely not going to get polished, which is another bonus. And then we'll start taking the wheels off. Good morning guys, and welcome back to day 3. So we're finished on the boot of the A35. So we're going to be now moving on to the final steps. So the driver's side, the pillars, and onto the spoiler as well. So the worst area is just coming up here somewhere. So it's been sanded, it's been polished badly, and there's a lot of hologramming. So just for reference, if you guys can't remember what it was like, I mean, even there, look. So just for the sake of the test purposes, what we're going to be doing is we're going to try and just use a finish and polish first. Again, soft pad, finish and polish. I'm going to switch it out to the Manzana. It's got a little bit more bite, but still, this is, just out of interest, just so you could see, it's got a 3 out of 10 for cut and a 10 out of 10 for gloss. So again, full on finish and polish designation. So let's try and do it, and let's see what happens. So this will be nice and interesting. Finish and polish only. I have no idea of the results. I can imagine what it's going to be. But still, the funny thing is, it may work. Well, I know this much. It'll take the hazing and the hologramming away. Everything else may remain. Wow, that is literally amazing. So I'll get you in on this one. Just so you could see, this is the area I haven't been. See, so you could see that just here, still heavy in holograms, and then you just move the light and you could see not bad when you're considering I don't have to do any heavy sort of correction work. Amazing. So what we're going to do again, we're going to just blow the pad out. We're going to do it one more time, this time incorporating the area that I haven't been. And we're going to continue. So far so good. So again, instead of blowing the pad out inside, I could blow it here into a bucket, but still it could put some particles up into the air. Because I'm actually quite far away from the door, instead of taking the plug out every time, I just undo the pad, blow it out, and then put it back. That means it's just easier, and that means I could work anywhere without having to take the machine with me. So again, for something where I know there's going to be a bit more cutting involved, yeah, so when there's more cutting involved, I just put a bit more compound or finish and polish down, and I just work it a little bit longer, and hopefully, as you've seen, the results is just amazing. So heavy damage removed after one pass without any heavy cutting work required. Expecting exactly the same results on the area that hasn't been polished. And the thing is though as well, even in these lights, if we're not hitting the panel directly, you could see the clarity starting to build more and more, and this is what exactly the new car detail is. You shouldn't be taking off any paint theoretically. Obviously touch up a few bits here and there as on this car, but the main point of a new car detail is, first of all, you're prepping it for a coating, but still the clarity is never there. So you're just refining, you're adding 20-30% of extra gloss, hence why it's always said in a colloquial term, better than showroom condition, because it is. Wow, it's looking sick. Can't believe that, actually. Not a single piece. The only piece though is obviously edge work, which is a hybrid's job. I don't want to tap too much into the trim. Yeah, there's a huge boost in gloss, and most important, clarity as well in the paint. Don't know, what was that? But yeah, seems like they've almost went into this panel as well with their sanding / polishing. Yeah, easy. You know, in some cases, Kelly, the Manzana is slightly more cut. So as you can see on the front bumper and the pod that connects the bumper and the bonnet, I've had to revert back to Manzana 3500, and that's because, as I said, it's got a bit more bite while still being designated as finish and polish. Now, in hindsight, after speaking to the owner after the detail, that part that you see me wiping, so the whole ledge, the owner has mistakenly put a cloth on some bird droppings, left it soak and wiped it in. Now, that is an old school method of removing the bird poo, and in this area that I'm pointing to now, it's really deep scratching, so I was forced to move on to a microfiber pad. So you can see, there you go, it is deep marks. So I've had to go back to microfiber, and I've been testing on that panel, so clear cut, which is compound, and reflect, finish and polish. Eventually we did find a solution to this problem, and it was all fixed. So that should work. Again, the sound wasn't plugged in. Bloody hell. So again, this is a fresh pad. Like a messed up winky face. So again, the usual procedure of priming. If only you could see what Kelly's doing. Wanna come show your face? No? Embarrassed. Pure embarrassment. So the wheels now taken off and coated, they've been put back on the car, and the most important step, as you can see me now doing a panel wipe onto the car. So the whole purpose of this is to remove any of the polishing oils left behind with the steps that you've just been watching. So we go around meticulously around the car, we will wipe down every area, and this is just a preparation step in order to apply coating to naked clear coat and not clear coat that is impacted by polishing oils, so that it might not adhere as well, and obviously the durability won't be as long. So now on to the final steps of the detail. As you can see, I have started with the bonnet. I always start with the bonnet usually. So the coating of choice is going to be CarPro Sea Quartz. So it's the UK edition, which has got the most silica content. So the plan for me was to apply 2 coats, one now, one in the morning as well, and that was the chance for the coating to evaporate off the first coat, for me then to apply the second coat, and then we will be applying the CarPro Gliss, which is the super hydrophobic, super slick top coat. After the second coat of the base C-coat, whilst I'm doing this, you could see Kelly working around me, doing the interior part of the new car prep. So she's cleaning, protecting, you know, blowing out any dust, anything like that, whilst I'm still applying the coating. So, day 5. Today's Friday. The car is finished. As you can see, it looks amazing. So I'm just going to have a quick walk around as well with the car and tell you what's been done. But while we're here, just to give you a quick lowdown on the process. So day 1, you didn't see this, but deep wash, decontamination in certain places because the car is new, but I think he had it for about 10-14 days prior to having it to us, because we couldn't get him in fast enough. So 14 days worth of road salt potentially, you know, if there was, I think there's a few tar spots, etc. So we cleaned that up. The full, obviously, tar removal, iron removal, a clear bar service on certain areas, but not all areas. So that was brought in. Day 2, that's where I filmed half of the test spots without having the sound plugged in. But apart from that, day 2, 3, 4, we did a 1-step. So what that means is a soft finishing pad and a soft finishing polish in most cases on the areas that you've already seen. We've had to compound it a few times, and again here we've had to compound that quite heavily, in fact, but that's all knocked out. Wheels came off. Again, they were re-cleaned, dried off, and they got coated. The front arches, which are plastic, got coated in a plastic coating. The rear arches got a fabric coat because of the carpets in the back. Wheels got coated in CarPro C-Coats 3.0, so we did 2 coats on that. And also the paint received the same thing as well, so C-Coats, 2 layers, 24 hours apart, just to let all the solvents, etc., gas off. The glass, the exterior glass, was coated in our development product, which, in fact, I will show you. So, as you saw yesterday, halfway through coating the car, I didn't even realize this, but the battery had died because we were actually here till about midnight, so it was a late one. So we did an all-nighter. It was working because we were in the flow. Yeah, so the outside glass was coated in our development, and that's all I will say for now. It looks absolutely amazing. Ooh, what is this? So we've been working on this since day 1, actually. So glass got coated twice again, all exteriors, sides and rears. Again, apologies for the camera cutting halfway through the driver's side correction because I blew through 4 batteries yesterday without realizing. So again, paintwork got coated. Now it also got coated this morning with our YumCeramic, which is a ceramic spray sealant. Now the reason we've done this, the reason why we do the YumCeramic treatment as well, is because, first of all, even though the coating is fully cured on the car, the weather is a bit strange at the minute. So what we're doing is adding a sacrificial layer on top of the coating itself. So it will help with water spotting or anything that lands on the paint. In the next few weeks, it will give that like a big coat theoretically over the coating, so it could literally level off, gas off properly, and just to give more shine, more durability, so the customer actually has an extra boost with the ceramic. The wheels got the same treatment as well. They were YumCeramic, and the glass, in fact, was YumCeramic as well. Now moving on to the interior wasn't too bad. Again, about 14 days worth of dirt. So deep hoover, we used air compressors to blow everything out from under the seats, a full degrease, inside windows, which are the worst on a brand new car. All the plastics, leathers, they're all gas off, and the first thing it hits is the windscreen. So if you have a new car and you just can't get it right on the front windscreen, don't worry, it's part of the pain. So we cleaned that a couple of times. Now plastics, leathers, carpets, again, Alcantara as well in fact, all got coated in their respective products to give the interior the protection it deserves, just as much as the exterior. So if you look, the car's looking unbelievable. So nice and glossy. I don't know if that's put that on camera. Yeah, it's looking fantastic. So I'll just do a quick walk around. Ooh, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So again guys, thank you very much. I know it's been a long video. I was going to do it in steps. So day 1, 2, 3. Again, we lost day 1 on the washing. I lost half of the first day anyway because of no audio. I lost a little bit of yesterday because all the batteries had died on the camera. So I've mashed it all into one. And hope it's been enjoyable. I know it's a long video, but it shows you the steps that we take. Not all of them again, but the main ones that people might be interested in. So when this video drops, we should have a GTR in. So currently now, so Friday. By the time this video airs, we should have a GTR in with us Wednesday/Thursday. It's a good customer of ours. Now this car has been neglected because it's his track car. He has other cars that he takes pride in and shows them, but this one literally goes from track to home, track to home. So I'm definitely going to video that one because it hasn't been washed in a very long time. Obviously tar deposits, track dirt, so rubber, etc. Brake dust galore, again it's a GTR. So you brake dust all over the panels, and the paintwork, apparently, I haven't seen the car, but apparently it's not in a good state. We've been advised to do the best we can because even the customer realizes it's not going to be 100%. So that's definitely getting videoed. And again, thank you very much guys for watching. And if there's anything that you've got any feedback on videos or what you would like to see next. In fact, I've just had a customer come in here and saying he would love to see like a podcast, live streams every 2 weeks for the customers who aren't close to us, who'd like to ask us live questions. So that was a good suggestion, which we'll do actually. That's one of the plans. So if you've got any sort of suggestions, drop them in the comments below. And again, thank you very much guys.